Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. Before I get started, I want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Hawashai, by Hashem Chakwadash, double honor for my apostles, my elders, a great millstone who lead, teach, and rule well. Love and honor my fellow Akim, pushing the word in truth, faith, and sincerity across the four corners. Shalom, peace, and blessings to the sincere listeners who listen and subscribe to the men and doctrine great millstone. It's your brother Yadav from G. Land Church, come with another lesson to the Spirit. Going to this article here from NBCnews.com. This is actually from today, June 10th, 2020, the year of prophecy. And here the article is entitled NASCAR Bans Confederate Flags at Its Events. The ban comes just 2 days after the only black driver in the league's top series called on NASCAR to make the change. I'm gonna get right into the article. This is it says NASCAR announced on Wednesday it would ban Confederate flags from its events 2 days after the only black, in which we understand, he's not black, but only black driver in the league's top series called on NASCAR to make the change. The flag will no longer be allowed at races or displayed at any NASCAR properties, the league said in a statement posted to its Twitter account. The presence of the Confederate flag at NASCAR events runs contrary to our commitment to providing a welcoming and an inclusive environment for all fans, our competitors, and our industry, the statement said. Um, says Daryl Bubba Wallace Jr. told CNN's Don Lemon on Monday that the flags have no place at the races. No one should feel uncomfortable when they come to a NASCAR event. It starts with Confederate flags, Wallace told Lemon. Wallace is the first so-called black driver in 50 years to win one of NASCAR's top three national touring series and has been an outspoken voice in the sport following the death of George Floyd. Um, Floyd's deadly arrest in Minneapolis on May 25th has reinvigorated the long-standing conversation on racial inequality in America and drawn protests around the world. Um, Now, going to this whole flag situation, it made me, uh, it brought to mind, especially in the ancient world, when, countries kings went to battle, the flag is a major symbol to the point that you would have what's called here you know, a standard bearer, okay, in which if the standard bearer died on the battlefield or couldn't carry the flag, the next soldier was supposed to, pick the flag up and carry it because it's a very symbolic, okay, instrument. A flag is, um, even when you think to maybe middle school, high school, collegiate, often sometimes even professional events, you have the standard bearer or the flag bearer because, like I said, it's a very powerful image and it's a very powerful symbol. Okay, so this is from Wikipedia.org. Just going to the standard bearer. A standard bearer or flag bearer is a person, civilian, soldier, or civilian who bears an emblem called a standard, i.e., either a type of flag or an inflexible but mobile image, which is used and often honored, okay, as a formal visual symbol of a state, prince, military unit, etc. Okay, this can either be an occasional duty, often seen as an honor, especially on parade, or a permanent charge, also on the battlefield. The second type has even led, in certain cases, to this task being reflected in official rank titles such as ensign, cornet, or Fonrich. Okay, but like I said, um, well, we might as well finish that with the end. Okay, it says In the context of the Olympic Games, a flag bearer is the athlete who carries the flag of their country during the opening and closing ceremonies. And like I said, to hold and carry a flag is a very significant and supposedly honorable duty or charge, because you pretty much, you're pretty much the vessel, okay, that's continuing on a legacy in which that flag is designed and constructed to represent and really to be a symbol of power, okay. So like I said, so in reading this article, it made me think of that concept of that standard bearer, and how, like I said, how important it is. Um, Really, it's like a spiritual importance, because, like I said, it's a whole spirit and energy that goes behind these symbols. Top. Zechariah 14:1. Behold, the day of the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai cometh, and thy spoil shall be divided in the midst of thee. For I will gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle, and the city shall be taken, and the houses rifled, and the women ravished, and half of the city shall go forth in captivity, and the residue of the people shall not be cut off from the city. Okay, pretty much going to Israel being taken down. Okay, but there coming a time later, okay, in which the Lord, the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, is going to come and return and fight for us, man. Okay, and like I said, in which this banning the Confederate flag is a big blow to the institution, not only of the United States, in the Southern heritage, but also it's a big blow spiritually to the concept and the premise of white supremacy. Okay, and that's why these Edomites are going to be are in and are going to be in such an uproar about this, man. Zechariah 14:3. Then shall the Lord Yahweh Shemel shall go forth and fight against those nations as when he fought in a day of battle. And like I said, I thought about this particular precept and this concept of that flag or standard bearer, because that's a sign when a fighting force, okay, can no longer bear, okay, their standard or their image or their flag. That's a big blow, man. That's a sign that um, really that they're on their last leg, man, because uh, either the fighting forces are going to be solely focused on trying to fight and not worried about the symbolism and power, the morale booster, so to speak, that comes from bearing that standard, or they're going to be pretty much in retreat mode, man, because they're not um, really they're not embracing to a certain level or extent the spiritual aspect that comes with the significance, like I said, of these symbols and of these um, really idols, so to speak. Okay. Um, cool. It says, the presence of the Confederate flag at NASCAR events runs contrary to our commitment to providing a welcoming and inclusive environment for all fans, our competitors, in our industry. Daryl Bubba Watson Jr. told CNN's Don Lemon, I already read this. Let me go down. Yeah, it says Wallace told CNN that in the past he had not been bothered by the flag, but he said after educating himself, he sees how uncomfortable it makes people. So, with that being said, once again, I'm not going to get into the different, I guess, the evolution of the flag. I'm just going to get to the controversy section. Um, It's a definition on Wikipedia, and it's the flags of the Confederate States of America, the controversy section. It says, despite never having historically represented the Confederate States of America as a country, nor having been officially recognized as one of its national flags. The rectangular Second Confederate Navy Jack and the battle flag of the Army of Northern Virginia are now flag types commonly referred to as the Confederate flag. Both have become a widely recognized symbol of the Southern United States. It is also known as the Rebel flag, Dixie flag, and Southern Cross, and is sometimes incorrectly referred to as the Stars and Bars. The actual Stars and Bars is the first national flag, which used an entirely different design and was in use by the Confederacy until mid 1863. In the early 21st century, the rebel flag has become a highly divisive and polarizing symbol in the United States. While some view the flag as a symbol of Southern heritage, others associate it with racism and white supremacy. And that's why I said, these instances, it may seem to be, small and minute, but this is actually a big blow, okay, to not only Southern heritage, but also the institution of white supremacy, man. Okay, because this carries on. Not only does it carry the energy, okay, and the legacy of you know a time in which it was very difficult for our people directly, okay, but it also serves as a sign and as a signet for these Edomites to continue the pride in so-called white culture and white supremacy, and at the same time continue to spiritually oppress our people. Okay. Now let me see if there's any more in the article for and that's why Bubba Wallace said, and I believe I may be mistaken, but I believe he is from the South. I believe I may be mistaken, but it says Wallace told CNN that in the past he had not been bothered by the flag. But he said after educating himself, he sees how uncomfortable it makes people. And why does it make people uncomfortable? Because even as it said here, um, it said as of the early 21st century, the rebel flag has become a highly divisive and polarizing symbol in the United States. See, and that's why it makes people uncomfortable, man. Because it's pretty much it's a rebel flag. You know what I'm saying? It's a symbol of uh non-continuity, disconnect, separation. Um, Continuing on, there's going to be a lot of angry people that carry those flags proudly, but it's time for change, he said. We have to change that, and I encourage NASCAR to have those conversations to remove those flags. Wallace appeared in the video, and that's the point. That's the point, main point. Um, I'm gonna get how many people is that a people to say that? 2 Corinthians 10, I'm going to start at the top. 2 Corinthians 10 and 1. Now I, Paul, myself beseech you by the meekness and gentleness of Hamashiach, who in presence am base among you, but being absent and bold towards you. But I beseech you that I may not be bold when I am present with that confidence wherewith I think to be bold against some, which think of us as if we walk according to the flesh. Now here Paul's pretty much saying, you know, knowing when to knowing how to move, okay? You know, there's certain times that it's beneficial to be bold. At certain times it's beneficial to be humble and to be meek, so to speak. Okay, this action right here by Bubba Watson was a bold move, man. Because as I said, he's the only person of color to win a major NASCAR event. He's gonna pretty much have a target on his back, man. But this is the time that we're in, and this is like I said, a time and a sign that the fall, not only the fall of the institution of white supremacy, okay, is quickly um, falling down, but it's also a time of the rise of our people, man, the so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, okay, and the Israelite foreigners abroad, man, the 12 tribes of Israel. Continuing on, 2 Corinthians 10 and 3. For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh. Because what? Even this is an example of that. This isn't, he didn't, uh, um, see a Confederate flag and walk up there and grab it and burn it. Nah, he made a stand. And the article did go into other NASCAR drivers, I believe, President former, speaking out against the flag as well. But this is a spiritual thing because it's a symbol. Okay, it's an idol, so to speak. It's more to the flag than just the material and the stars and stripes. It's a whole spirit behind it. 2 Corinthians 10 and 4. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through the Most High to pulling down of strongholds, in which not only, not only the flag, what I'm saying, but really the flag symbol is a symbol of the stronghold, man. Stronghold of Esau, Edom, having totalitarian control of the country. Okay, but that stronghold, like I said, that's been um, grounded and founded in white supremacy has been pulled down, man. Um, casting down imaginations and everything that exalteth itself against the knowledge of the Most High, and bringeth into captivity every thought to the obedience of Hamashiach. And this sign, okay, is an imagination of a creation that exalts itself against the Most High, man. Okay, because it's a sign of superiority of Edom over the world. But meanwhile, the true knowledge of the scriptures and the true understanding of what's going on, the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shem Shai, is not only above all those things. Okay, um, the Heavenly Father also has a chosen people. Okay, which consists of so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, and the Israelite foreigners, in which this particular symbol, this particular sign, this flag, um, is a sign that's directly against that knowledge, man. Okay, and finishing off 2 Corinthians 10 and 6, and having in a readiness to revenge all disobedience when your obedience is fulfilled. And it's not always a carnal aspect. Even going back to the top of this chapter, it's not always about going out in the streets and pulling down certain things and destroying this and burning that. You know what I'm saying? Like this is an instance in which he had a certain position. Okay, he had a certain authority. He spoke his piece, and NASCAR obliged, man. Okay, because the time of Esau Edom's rulership is over. Okay, the time of him, exalting himself against the knowledge of the Most High. The time of him, continuing to tread down our people and just completely misuse and abuse our people is over, man. Okay, and the NASCAR banning this Confederate flag is yet another sign of that to be true. Okay, so I hope and pray the lesson was edifying. Once again, I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Chakwadash. Double honors to my apostles, my elders, a great millstone who lead, teach, and rule well. Love and honor to you, I can push the word in true faith and sincerity across the four corners. Until next time, Shalom.